Hey everyone, what's going on? It's BradPhusion here with a quick look at the latest update for Space News, which is update 1.035 or 1.35 depending on how you say it, which came out just as I woke up actually, which contains quite a few optimization / performance fixes and patches, as well as the ability to send electricity through rotors, and a new auto-lock function for the landing gear. So let's begin firstly by creating a new world. Once we're on the new world menu, you just go custom world here and you'll see that a lot of the options that were previously here are now tucked behind an advanced options menu. Now once you click upon this, you'll see a few new options here as well, such as limiting the world size, trash auto removal, and deleting the respawn chip. And I'll quickly just hover over these and just read out what exactly they say. So when the limit world size is set to a certain value here, you have 10 kilometers, 20, 50, and 100 and unlimited. This basically says that if anything goes outside of this limit away from the spawn, it'll either be deleted or killed. So this is for ships, cargo ships that have still been drifting by, or any little bits of trash or ores or something that have been floating away from your base. Anything that goes outside of, say, 10 kilometers here, it'll vanish, and that should hopefully clear up some people's worlds that have trash and stuff that's been floating around for however long now. The next option is trash auto removal. Now this works similar to limiting the world size, however it'll affect objects all around you. And I'll try to force it to trigger itself when I just go into the world here. But basically, if the game considers a ship to be trash, the game will actually just delete it. So by trash, it means it has to be quite small, so just a few blocks just floating around space with no power or anything like that, just so it can kind of delete these little pieces that it thinks that you're not using and just kind of clears up the world. Now hopefully this won't be a thing that'll be caused when your ship gets hit with a rocket, for example, and your ship breaks up into pieces. I hope that some of those pieces don't disappear straight away, because that would make the game a little bit, I don't know, just to see your ship just suddenly have a hole in it and all the pieces just suddenly disappear. That would be a little bit too silly, so I'm hoping there's some sort of delay on that. But anyways, let's just turn this on for the sake of having it on. And deleting respawn ship, basically, when a player who's tied into a certain ship leaves the server or spawns in a new ship, it'll delete the previous ship that they were in. So this makes it so that you can't constantly stack up respawn ship on top of respawn ship. So with all those settings said and done, we'll jump into the world here and see what exactly they've changed as well, and see if we can try and get a few of these things to actually trigger. Okay, so welcome into the world. Now you probably noticed one thing straight away, and that is I'm using the default skybox here. And if you don't know how to change this, there is always a link in all of my video descriptions on how to change your skybox. It is literally labeled Space Ender's Skyboxes with a link there. You just download it and then you replace the original background cube file within Space Ender's in the textures folder. Anyways, I think I did a tutorial about this a while ago as well, but I have been getting a few questions on a few later videos that have been asking, how do you change your skybox? And people don't realize that it's actually in the description. The welding speed is also in the description as well, for anyone else who is wondering. It's quite an easy program that one of my friends and subscribers has made, so you can download that and use that as well. So anyways, moving on, let me just show you one of the first new features that this game has added. So you're probably seeing this little retarded setup here with rotors. Now the only reason why I'm doing something really so simple is because, one, I'm not that good with rotors, and two, I haven't had that much time to experiment with the new functionality. So as you guys see here, there's a whole chain of rotors here with a gyroscope on the end of it. Now you probably think this gyroscope's pointless, I can't control, I can't do anything with it. But in the latest update, power now transfers through rotors. This also means that you can then access the functionality of the rotors through the one main cockpit here. So if I'm sitting inside this cockpit and if I press K, you can see that a lot of the features on the other rotors, a lot of the components here are different colors. So the gyroscope is a dark orange because it's further away from where I am. At least that's how I'm going to read these colors, is that green is the closest and red is furthest away, or the dark colors are further away. So I can actually change the power of the gyroscope through here and even change the rotor that it's even attached to. Now obviously this is going to cause the whole thing to start spinning, but as you guys can see, actually it's not the last rotor that's spinning then. Oh right, because of the gyroscope on it. My mistake. But no, it's very interesting. We'll turn this one, we'll go backwards on that one. There we go. So it's actually not the colors that seem to be lined up. I assumed it would have been the colors, so green was closest to the white one, and the darker colors were the further away ones. At least it seems like that's what it should have been, but it doesn't seem like it actually is. So if I turn the main rotor on, obviously now you'll get me flailing at the ship here over here. I don't think it'll hit, but anyways, we're trying to actually get it to collide so I can get explosions and stuff, but I don't think it will. So we'll just keep that going for now anyways. That was an interesting thing. So I can think a lot of people can come up with a lot of interesting designs, having power now go through these rotors here instead of having to build reactors on each and every one of them. And also the fact that you can control what's on the other end over here. That would have been the closest I was going to get to hitting it. But now that you can actually control every single aspect of what's going on in each of the rotors here without having to build a terminal in each of them, I think that is really kind of cool, and I think a lot of people will actually enjoy having that. So another main thing that this game has added now is the ability to auto-lock in landing gears. Now you'll see these are blue down here, and that's actually kind of a cool thing I just noticed as well. But if I go K here and go to the landing gears tab, I've just grouped them up here quickly. But you can see that they have a braking force and an auto lock button now. Now if I turn up the braking force to unlimited, this basically means that when the landing gears lock, any amount of force I apply to it will not cause them to brake. So let me just go down here, and once I fly down, you'll see that I'll suddenly be locked in. And now obviously any force I apply right now, I can't unlock them no matter what. But if I weaken the landing gear just a little bit here, say if I turn down really little, I can just kind of almost just force myself away from it, and then now I'm unlocked. I thought that was kind of a really cool thing. So like I said, this will allow for some interesting designs as well. So we turn up the force just a little bit here so I can maybe just slightly break out of it. No, I can't break out of it then. Let's go with a little bit less power here. So I'm not too sure how you'd figure out how much power is actually needed to get past certain things, but oh, there we go. That was kind of cool. So yeah, obviously this is kind of a thing. Obviously, I think a lot of people would like to use just simply when you fly close, or maybe when you're trying to take over a cargo ship, you'd set this on auto lock so that the second you get close to actually locking into the ship, your ship will automatically do it for you. But no, I think that's kind of cool, and I think a lot of people will probably like that. There was actually a bug I was trying to get to happen, but I don't think it's actually going to work now. Basically, I had it so that with the landing gear locked in here, like with the automatic lock, once I flew away with it still locked in, can I do that now? No, it actually unlocks itself. Basically, it restricted my movement until I turned up the strength, and it kind of flung me backwards. But oh, that was awfully close. But no, that was the landing gear. Let me just get hit by this here so I can actually cause a lot of mess to see what exactly the game will do. Or maybe I'll just have to fire some rockets here and see what happens. So let's get some rockets out, and let's start firing up on stuff to see the world deletion in work, I guess. So can we break any of that? No, we can't. Let's just break you. Oh wow, I missed. I am a terrible shot. You know, they always say to aim for the center mass, so there we go. Well, you don't have any power anymore, so I'll see you once you exit the 10-kilometer range. Okay, let's just shoot out some other smaller stuff here to see if we can kind of isolate pieces to see if that actually just disappear. Oh, no, we need to get rid of the power source. I think it says as long as it doesn't have any power source, or if it's drifting, it'll actually just disappear. But I guess if it's part of a station block, it won't, because station blocks will never actually fly away from you. So what should I attack that I think will be okay? What about the smaller ships over here? Let's just hit a bunch of these. As you guys can see, actually, none of the parts that I hit and destroyed are actually floating around. You've got some smaller pieces here, actually, but I think they're actually a little bit bigger than what the game will actually register as being trash blocks. So let me just grab this out here. Actually, I think this is 2 blocks. Oh no, it's just 1 block. So surprisingly enough, the game didn't actually delete those pieces, but it did delete quite a few of the ones at the start. So what if I grind this away and just see what happens there? So now that it's only 1 block, I'll come back to these eventually. Actually, I want to fly away to the 10-kilometer radius to see what exactly the game will do once I get out of there, even in creative, and I think that'll allow me to do the spawn ship thing as well. So I'll fly away to about 10 kilometers and I'll let you know when I reach there. Okay, so I'm around about 4.4 kilometers away from the platform, and I think I've just realized what the world size actually means. Now, when it said 10 kilometers, I assumed that meant a 10-kilometer radius around the platform, around where you spawn. But as it turns out, it's actually a 10-kilometer diameter, meaning that the radius is around about 5 kilometers. So once I reach the 4.5 kilometer radius around the platform, you'll get this prompt here saying, return to the game area, warning, you will die in 600 meters. So once I fly out 600 meters, now obviously I won't die because I'm in creative, which I think it should probably still be a thing, just to restrict the fact that people will probably still be able to fly away or anything. But let me just fly around about to just inside the border here, and I'll send a ship out. I'll send like a really teeny tiny ship, just so you guys get an idea of what actually happens. So let me just put this here, and I will put a little that there, and I'll get a cockpit. Actually, wrong cockpit. So I'll put this on here, and I'll give it a little bit of energy and a thruster as well. May the ship never be remembered. It'll go into the Neverland. So I'll get in here and I'll thrust forward and I'll get out of the ship, and you'll see once it reaches the border there, the ship just disappears. Now this will hopefully help people's worlds kind of load a little bit faster or play a little bit faster, because any of those older ships that you have that have just been drifting around for however long now that have gone obviously way out of the range that you're never going to worry about getting them, they'll just disappear now, and it'll clean up the world and hopefully optimize it a little bit better so that you can have fun in your Space Invaders world without having to worry about your world lagging out too much. And hopefully this means that with all these optimization fixes, I might be able to go back to the Season 2 world, and I'll be checking that out shortly after this update. But I'm going to be going back into this world in survival mode just to go outside the border again, so I get the spawn ship, so I can then test how the spawn ship actually disappears when I respawn myself using a medical bay. But I wanted to see if the world has actually cleaned up these little bits of scraps that I had floating around here, and if not, actually no, you can see that these smaller blocks that were once here that should have been clearly floating around still have actually now vanished away, which is kind of cool. So I guess there's either a certain time or a certain countdown on them, or just the simple fact that no one was here observing them, that they decided to go away. So once it was out of the player's view range, the items that were kind of just drifting around would disappear. Obviously the ship's hull here would remain, simply because it was such a massive piece that it contained a lot more blocks, and I think that's actually kind of neat. I do like the fact that it got rid of the smaller blocks, but there is this one actually up here, which I thought was interesting. Maybe because it's actually no, it's only 2 blocks, so it was a bit funky that this one actually survived. Anyways, like I said, I'll go into survival now, just to see what will actually happen with these survival ships. So see you guys in a second. Let's just kill myself on the grinders here, and we'll come back in a player ship. And once we do, oh wait, I just realized I need to actually make, oh wait, it will get removed after you leave the game or spawn in a new one. That's kind of cool. So what we'll do actually, I think I figured out the easiest way to test something like this. Let me start drifting towards spawn here. And what I'll do is I'll grab out my grinder here, and I'll actually grind away this medical bay that's inside of the ship. So once this medical bay is actually destroyed, I can't respawn it anymore. So what I'll do is I'll fly into the station, and basically I'll intentionally crash the ship to kill myself, and then I'll see what happens with the original ship that I've crashed. So, goodbye red ship. I never really used you. Does anyone actually use the red ship at all? I don't think I've ever seen anyone fly it around. Like, obviously, people fly it around to crash it, but I've never really seen anyone use it for anything other than that. So, well, goodbye then, cruel world. Oh, don't tell me I missed. No, I didn't miss. I clearly didn't miss. That never gets old. That never gets old. Anyways, we spawned in another ship, but we'll fly quickly over and we'll see whether or not my previous ship has been destroyed, or whether it now counts itself as temporary trash before the game wants to remove it. So I'll fast forward till we get there. So where did the ship go? No, it's actually gone. Yep, so the spawn ship has now disappeared after colliding with the large red ship here, and I spawned into a new one. So that's kind of cool. I actually really do like that. That's interesting. So that obviously clears up the server yet again, because I remember when playing with a friend, that was always a problem. Whenever we'd die, we'd come back in a spawn ship like this. Even though we had a medical bay, it was still an issue, but now that this is here, this will kind of also force you to use the medical bays as well. So anyways, that's it for today's update. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about it, and let me know if you have any performance increases in your worlds as well because of today's update. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Stay awesome, everyone.